everyone. I'm here talking with Brynn Deamer today. My name is Sabine El-Chidiac. I'm the Canadian Policy Associate at the Consumer Choice Centre. I recently wrote a blog post for the website on the Canada Post strike. Our postal workers in Canada have been on strike for the past 2 weeks now. And, its effects on everyday Canadians, but also small business owners. And I thought I would bring on a small business owner that I know. Her name is Brynn. She's here with us today talking about what this looks like for her and her business. She's a successful entrepreneur and small business owner, and she sells jewelry and home decor that she crafts and ships from her home in Ontario. The name of the business is BCDX Creations, and it's located on Etsy. I've been a long-time customer myself, as she knows, and I absolutely love it. I have a lot of her pieces. She's so successful that since almost 4 years of launching, she's sold her creations in over 15 countries in all American states and Canadian provinces and territories, which shows you how much people across North America and beyond love her shop. I'm really glad she agreed to speak with me today about the Canada Post strike because it may seem like a political issue to some people, but this is something affecting people like Brynn who own and operate small businesses in Canada. So, Brynn, thanks for talking with the Consumer Choice Centre today. Really
No
appreciate your
problem.
time. I know you're busy, but maybe a little stressed these days on top of that too.
Right,
Postal strike.
definitely.
So tell me about your business. What do you sell? How do you set yourself apart from other sellers? How did it start? How it's going? Just want to get everybody up to speed with who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. My business is called BCDX Creations after my initials. I make unique jewelry and home decor, all handmade by me in my basement studio at my house. I work with resin and polymer clay and sell my creations online at Etsy.com. December 1st will be my 4-year anniversary since my shop opening, and it's become a full-time business instead of just a hobby to make extra money on the side as I first planned. I do the designing, the making, the marketing, the customer service, and the worldwide shipping. I think what sets me apart is that for all of my life, all the jewelry I saw in stores and online were always so expensive. So I wanted to make something affordable, yet still high quality, trendy items that the average consumer could actually afford and that they'd keep coming back for because of the affordability. I've always had a creative side, and being a jewelry wearer and lover of all things nature, I decided to combine the two to make the best of both worlds wearable. I started by buying the basic materials needed to incorporate real plants and flowers into resin to make the ephemeral everlasting, and then branched out into using polymer clay as well. The shop has been doing great, and it's been a welcome challenge keeping up with it as well as my uh, proofreading job, which I do part-time. My business is now a major contributor to my annual income, along with my other side job as well.
That's awesome. And I know that you go sometimes abroad to source your materials. I think that's really cool. That probably sets you
Yes.
apart as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice that you focus on affordability. It's not, it's not going to set you back too much when you buy a whole set from your company, which is really nice. So it is really made for everyday Canadians to be able to just look pretty and feel good about themselves, which I really like. So how do you maintain a one person operation? Like, what's a day in the life for you in this business? I've never owned a business,
Right.
so I'd love to know myself.
Well, luckily, when you start an at-home business and you have another stream of income, you're able to work at your own pace and you're able to work your way up. And so the performance that my shop is at today is because I learned as I went and got better and faster as I went on. The output of orders is often based on the input of effort. So I've been able to scale accordingly based on the busyness of my life. Every day I answer customer service emails, prep orders for shipping, and I'm often running to the post office to drop last night's packaged orders to be shipped out.
Mhm.
When I'm caught up on orders, though, I am either restocking inventory or making brand new things.
That's really cool. And why do you think it became so successful after not very long, actually, if I remember correctly?
I think my business became successful because I absolutely love every aspect of it. Whether it's creating new pieces or ordering materials or shipping items out, it's a great feeling that something you've made with your two hands is also loved by others just as much as by yourself. I also think the beauty of art and nature is universally loved and makes great jewelry and home decor.
That's for sure, and that's why I keep buying things from your shop. So, so You talked a little bit about your operations, but I want to get more into that. So I'm a customer, I'm living in Canada, and I've just put in an order. What happens next?
So when a Canadian customer places an order, the order software dashboard on my Etsy shop will show the new order come in, what was bought, how many of it were bought, where the item is shipping to, and if a gift message was left for the receiver of the order. From
Mhm,
there, based on my processing and dispatching days, which is about 3 to 5 days, I have that time to prep the order. Once a piece is made to the customer specifications, I package the order in little gift boxes that are thin enough to be less than 20 millimeters, including the
mhm,
envelope. I ship them in, so they have to be less than 20 millimeters because that is the Canada Post oversized letter mail sizing limit for thickness.
mhm.
And I'm then able to ship anywhere in Canada using the oversized letter mail stamp that costs just $2.09. Oversized letter mail is just an upgrade sizing limit for a package that's thicker than the standard letter mail stamp allowance, which is 5 millimeters, and that's for $1.15. People, so sending a letter typically costs Canadians $1.15, but I'm able to ship my jewelry for just over $2 using
Mm.
the oversized letter mail option with Canada Post. So all my Canadian customers get free shipping as I pay the 209 in the back end by
Mhm.
adding it into the initial cost of the item since shipping via letter mail is so cheap.
Okay, that's really great. And I understand a lot better. So that's why you have free shipping. You add it in, and make. I think that kind of encourages people to buy more, even
Yes,
because
yes,
there's that
exactly.
there's that shipping, and it is nice that you have the option to do that. It's only $2. That's really nice.
Exactly.
Um, and I think obviously it's made a huge impact on your business. I think that's the big. I don't know that I'm asking you. Has it made an impact on your business being able to charge so little, um, like
I
in the
think
back end?
so. I think that just because shipping, when you're able to say free shipping on your site, a lot of people are able to see the entire cost of everything, and it's
Yeah,
much easier to imagine how much you're fully going to spend on something. So
definitely.
I feel like I've seen a lot of other Canadian shops do the same thing where they're putting free shipping and just customers are more likely to buy because there
Hmm.
aren't any back end costs that you see at checkout, which is nice.
Okay, like, I mean, as a customer, I like seeing free shipping myself, I have to
Yeah.
say. It's like I have $150 in my cart and then it's like $10 shipping. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Um, just doesn't make any sense, but that's just how it works in your head. Um,
Right.
so is it especially problematic that this is happening before I ask you about the problematic aspects, how has the Canada Post strike affected your business? And then I'll ask you a
Uh
little bit more about specifics.
Yeah, of course. Because of the Canada Post strike, no letters or parcels are being accepted, shipped, or delivered anywhere in Canada right now. And since Canada Post is the only option for Canadians to affordably send letter mail, all of my Canadian customers must now pay for shipping using another parcel carrier like UPS, Purolator, FedEx. So when my customers order, they must now pay at least $15 for shipping to get their order on
Oof.
time, which with my items being an average $10 to $40 each, that type of shipping cost is far too high compared to Canada Post's letter mail free option that I offer. And if customers don't want to ship by parcel with a non-crown corporation carrier like UPS, FedEx, or Purolator, I'm still currently offering the free Canada Post shipping option, but they have to wait to get their package shipped out until the strike is over.
So but you're not putting it in the mail right now. You're like
No,
keeping them.
yeah, I'm kind of stockpiling them to the side until the strike is over.
Okay, so that is a really good segue to my next question, which is like, is it particularly annoying that this is happening to you? Is it particularly affecting your business? The fact that it's happening sort of before Black Friday, or during Black Friday week, which has become a whole week, I guess, and
Right.
basically right before the holidays. And like, I'm assuming, but I don't know for sure, that your sales probably rise around this time because people are buying stocking stuffers or gifts from your
Mhm.
shop.
It's definitely especially problematic that the strike is happening right now during the busiest shopping and shipping season of the year. My business and many others, small and large, make the largest amount of sales in November, December, of course, in anticipation of Black Friday and the gift giving holidays like Christmas. My sales are at their
Mm,
highest right now, and I know customers appreciate the free shipping that goes along with my items, especially in these economic times. So there's
yeah.
definitely a higher influx of sales during these months. So it's the perfect time for the strike to disrupt a lot of small business owners, of course, unfortunately.
And if it keeps going, I guess you're going to be holding on to those packages, and they might not get them before Christmas.
No,
And like,
exactly.
and isn't it true? I guess even if you do send them out all together, like it ends tomorrow, you send everything out, but it's possible that they get there even like not on time because there's so
Right.
much backlog. I'm assuming. So
Yes.
I don't know. That seems dangerous. We're getting dangerous territory in terms of getting the stuff there. So
Oh, for sure.
that's unfortunate. What happened to the cost of your products with a strike like this? Are you raising your prices? Are you keeping them the same? Or is it just like you're keeping them the same, but people are seeing that 15 or $10, $15? Because you said that your products range from $10 to $40, and the shipping is like more than if I want to get a $10 pair of earrings or something or a ring, and then it's like $15. So I'm actually paying $25 for that.
Exactly, right.
Is that what's happening now? Or are
Yes,
you
so
changing the
I
price of your
I
products?
I haven't been changing the prices because I'm hoping that obviously the strike will end soon, but it is the shipping cost that is rising, of course, so that's what people are seeing. Like a typical order that would have previously pre-strike costed a customer $25, all tax included, is now costing them more than 40 due to the shipping costs. So for
Hmm.
small businesses like mine that consist of handmade affordable items, a shipping cost like that makes the item far pricier than anticipated. So it's difficult for people to consider the products now compared to before, for sure.
And I did go on your page, which is a bad idea because now I want to buy a lot of stuff. But other than that, I read your message on your website to customers regarding the shipping. And can you give me a rundown of what you had to say to them? Like, what is it, the message that you have on your website right now? And how is it being received by customers? Like, have been people taking you up on your offer for a shipping upgrade, or what has been happening? What's the response?
So I've posted an announcement at the top of my shop stating that due to the Canada Post strike, all customers with orders that were previously shipping for free now must either wait until the end of the strike for them to be shipped or must upgrade the shipping by
Mm,
purchasing a new shipping option, and that's $15 Canadian for Canadian shipping. So then I could afford to send the item out with another carrier that isn't Canada Post. Luckily, my customers have always been amazing and are continuing to be extremely sympathetic and kind when they're told the news about them either having to wait for an unforeseeable amount of time to either receive their order or pay even more money to get their order than that they thought they had already paid for fully.
yeah.
I would say about a quarter of the Canadian customers are paying for the upgrade, while the rest are actually deciding to wait until the strike is over to receive their
Oh,
order.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. And are you worried about some stuff that you sent before the strike? Like, do you think that it's going to be lost forever or something? Some people are worried about that. Like, are they going to be received? Like, you didn't know the strike was coming. You were still sending normally.
Yes, no, we were kind of told a little bit in advance that it could be coming, but we didn't know
Mhm.
much in advance. So we'll have to see how the uptick is and what really the package shipping is like after that. I'm unsure how that's going to pan out, really.
And you've spoken a little bit about like small business owners in general, and I'd like to use the term sort of small and medium businesses. Those are the kind of business that your business falls into. That's the group I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually have a great network and they talk to each other, especially in Canada, it seems to me anyway. And have you heard from your fellow entrepreneurs, small business owners, and what they're going through with the strike? What have they been telling you?
I've seen like across social media, especially, I've seen numerous other small businesses and entrepreneurs facing the same challenges that I am because of the strike. Some are taking the route that I did and are
Mm.
offering other shipping options, and some are altogether just shutting down their shops temporarily and hoping the strike ends soon.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, with the uncertainty of the strike timelines right now, as well as what I've read from past Canada Post strikes, I feel as though a lot of small business owners are not very hopeful that business options and sales will return to normal anytime soon, especially not during our most financially fruitful time of the year. Some customers just aren't going to want to pay for the extra shipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me sad to hear that there's some people are actually shutting down their shops completely. It's like you recover from COVID and you're trying to build back up from the COVID
Yeah,
period, and then you have this happen to you. And I feel really bad for those small business owners
exactly.
who are just trying to rebuild right now. It's like one thing after another.
Right.
I think that some people think that once the strike is over, then everything goes back to normal for small businesses. Like, do you think that's the case? And there are backlogs that are being accumulated. I touched on that a little bit, and
Right.
some parcels are going to be lost forever. Like, what do you think is going to happen as somebody who's living it?
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but unfortunately, once Canada Post operations are back up and running, small businesses will be again pumping out all their awaiting orders like I'm going to do, and that
Mm,
influx of packages is definitely going to cause
mm.
delivery delays, which in turn causes customer service issues, lost packages, of course, loss of business revenue due to refunds because of the lost packages, and I'm sure many more unforeseeable issues that I'm going to have to face and other business owners are going to have to face for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I don't want to be a negative person, but I feel like a lot of people are going to get their stuff by Christmas.
Yeah,
I think a
I
lot of Christmas presents are going to be either
right.
delayed or lost. I don't know.
Yeah, Canada Post delay.
Yeah, I know, and I even feel like maybe it'll push people to not buy from, like, small businesses. Maybe they'll go on Amazon instead because, like,
Right,
you still get your Amazon packages the next day, so why wouldn't you
right.
just go to Amazon when I would have got it from somebody on Etsy or somebody with a small business shipped to me? I'm not wanna pay
Yeah,
the $10, $15, or I don't know if it's even gonna get there,
right.
if I don't wanna pay that money, and, like, why wouldn't I just go to Amazon, um,
Exactly.
get my item the next day?
It's definitely
Um,
affecting small business owners and small businesses the most for sure, I feel.
yeah. Uh, some people, um, even when I when I wrote my blog and I talked to some people, they're just like, I don't even use Canada Post. Like, I don't even notice they're on strike. I really don't care.
Right.
Like, what would you say to those people that think that it's not a big deal? Because I know that you think it is.
Yeah, well, lots of people don't use carriers, or they use other carriers, not Canada Post, for shipping their parcels, whether it's across Canada or the world. But Canada Post is an integral postal system for Canadians and is often the only provider of many forms of mail, like federal checks, financial assistance payments, and
Yeah.
important
Hmm.
documents and packages that many Canadians really do rely on every day. Because Canada Post has a monopoly over Canada's mailing system, when it does go on strike, there isn't an equivalent mailing system to substitute it with, both in terms of affordability and delivery area coverage. A lot of rural communities and addresses rely on Canada
Yeah.
Post as other carriers do not deliver to their addresses. I also had a customer today. A lot of them don't deliver to PO boxes, so that's another instance, and often Canada
Uh,
Post is the only option for many Canadians.
oh, I didn't even like. I'm actually interested in the PO box issue. That's a really good point.
Yes.
So people in rural areas are often like you reliant on the PO box system, and that's run by Canada Post.
Right, exactly. So if that's their only address, a Canada Post PO box and any other shipping provider cannot deliver to that PO box.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's really problematic.
Yeah,
And when you're putting, I mean, we've heard news about the government sort of issuing checks here and there, especially right now.
right.
And I wonder how those are going to arrive. I was saying that the other day. I'm
Yeah,
like,
apparently
well, that's great.
they're still trying to process those and get those all delivered. Whether that's going to be on time or not, that'll have to be decided once we figure it out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, as a successful business owner, like what would you like to see from Canada Post in the future, given the strike, and has it and what has actually meant for your business? You spend a lot of time now talking to us about how it's impacted you and other businesses that you know about, and you started using the word monopoly, and like this is something that concerns you. And
Right.
I wanted to talk to you more about like what you actually think, somebody who's actually experiencing this firsthand. Um, what do you want, like, what do you want to see from the Canada Post? Because they are going to come back to work. We're going to go back to normal. And then maybe next year the same thing's going to happen. It's
Right.
happened before. This isn't the first strike. And
Right.
and last time it also happened right before the holidays. So maybe 2, 3 years from now this happens again, and then we get into the same cycle. And for me, it seems inefficient, to say the
Right.
least. So, what do you think about that inefficiency, and what do you think should be done in the future?
I'd say as an entrepreneur, a Canadian, and a proponent of fair wages, rights, and safe working conditions, I obviously absolutely understand why the Canadian Union of Postal Workers is wanting more from their employer if their needs are not being met. I think everyone is entitled to fairness, safety, and respect in the workplace and should have the ability to expect a positive change if those aspects are not currently being met. Only time will tell if Canada Post workers and their employer do end up reaching an agreement that works for everyone. But in the meantime, I'm sure I speak for many small business owners when I say I hope the strike ends fast and that Canada Post can offer all workers, businesses, and customers shipping services that make working, running businesses, and buying products in Canada a positive and long lasting experience. As for specific changes from Canada Post in the future, I personally have no complaints other than when the strikes happen. Obviously, it causes a lot of inefficiencies and backlogs and issues that way. Um, but if the needs of everyone aren't being met, then no one should be fully satisfied with the result. And
Mhm.
hopefully, they come up with systems that will work for everyone. But at this point, I honestly don't know what to suggest in my position of what they could do. Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult, and I think most of the issue comes from probably the fact that there isn't a lot of competition.
Right.
I mean, speaking from a consumer standpoint, which is my job, like thinking about the way that consumers see this stuff, it's important for me that people are able to like access the services that they pay for, because
Right.
as a crown corporation, like we are paying for the Canada Post to exist and for the workers to have these
Absolutely.
jobs and be able to strike and all of that. And as a consumer, I really want to be able to use that service. And
Mm-hmm.
when I don't have any options really, because $10 to $15 isn't really an alternative.
No,
It's like okay, um,
yes.
not for the small business owner and not for the consumer, especially when you're having a lot of financial difficulties with the economy the way it is, and
Mm-hmm.
affordability is a real problem in Canada. So as a consumer, I'm like, okay, well, I don't have a choice. This is not fair. Sometimes I feel like we're being held hostage a little bit.
Right.
Um, and like, no matter what the concerns are of the postal union, like, there has to be an alternative for consumers at the end of the day.
Right. I
So,
didn't even realize until the strike hit because I've never had to deal with this yet. The last strike for this long during this time was in 2018 before my business. So I
yeah.
didn't even realize that UPS, Purolator, and FedEx they do have some options for smaller like documents and stuff like that, but it's not in any relation similar to the pricing and affordability of Canada Post letter mail. So that's when I started to semi panic because at least half,
Mm,
if not more, of my customers are Canadians. So I had to come up with some sort of new shipping options or holding mail because I can't ship letter mail right now. So it definitely is something that needs to be reviewed, and I would love to see a secondary system or something additionally added where we can still send letter mail because a lot of my jewelry and the things I
mhm,
make are small enough to fit through that and are allowed to be sent through letter mail. So that
mhm.
is definitely something that was surprising to me, and it would be great to see something additionally added for that. That'd be good.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you have on your mind when it comes to this that you want to share with everyone who's watching?
I don't think so. I think
Okay,
that's
great.
everything. Yeah.
It was so nice to talk to you. I really hope that people watch this and realize that it's bigger than just like, oh, I'm not getting my Christmas cards out in
Right.
time. It's really
Right.
affecting people's businesses. I know a lot of people feel like Canada Post is irrelevant now. That might be true or not true in different ways, but it is relevant for small business owners and being
Absolutely.
able to like have their customers stay happy and stay their customers.
Oh, for
And it
sure.
really breaks my heart to hear that people are closing their stores, because I just feel so bad for a lot of these places that are just shutting down as because of COVID and now this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they can't catch a break. So
Right.
so
Thing after
I'm
thing. Absolutely.
yeah, I'm so glad that you took the time from your busy schedule to talk to us. I really appreciate that, and we'll put a link to your business. So if anybody wants to check it out, you might not get your stuff right away. I mean, to pay that extra money, but I still really suggest that you get something from there because it's awesome. So
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
thanks, Bryn.
Thank you.